r/ask Reddit. What has made you quit doing something you love? Music. I think I'm just not creative enough. I've played guitar since I was a kid and muddled my way around a keyboard and doors here and there. But I've never been able to output anything that I would want to listen to, which kind of sucks because I can't honestly say I'm passionate about anything else the way I'm about music. You have passion? Do not stop. Keep playing. I'm a guy in his mid-40s. Lifelong player. But never a great one. Guitar. Bass. Drums. Not a terrible singer. Played in bands as a younger man. Always wanted to write songs. Back in the day, tried my hand at it and was constantly disappointed with the results. Got me down. Somewhere in my 30s I largely stopped playing. Got married. Kids. Career. A couple of years ago I began jamming with some other dads from the school my kids go to. We discovered that between 5 of us, we have 2 guitars. Bass. Drums. Keys. Felt good to play again. And out of nowhere I began to write songs. And I didn't hate them. Wrote more. Actually liked them. Began to record at home about a year ago. Very pleased with the results, quite different from my experience 2 decades ago. I'm preparing to put up what amounts to an album's worth on SoundCloud. Not breaking any new ground or anything like that, and not looking to get paid. But these are songs I probably would have quite liked 20 years ago. Just writing the sort of things I've always loved. If you have the passion, keep playing. You never know what's waiting inside you to find expression. A tale of dad rock woven throughout the ages. Destined to occur in an endless cycle of dads until the end of time. I used to love smoking. I was at a pack a day for 13 years. I was diagnosed with a blood disease recently, and my doctors had a real come to Jesus talk with me. I haven't smoked in 26 days. It's been surprisingly easy. That first week was a rough ride though. The first 2 days are easy. Feels like you are waiting for your paycheck and it's not that bad. The 3rd, 7th days are pretty rough. I did not love smoking. But it finally took a doctor to convince me that it just didn't go along with my existing health issues. Being scared worked. It's been almost 10 years since I've smoked a cigarette. But damn if there aren't still times that I want one. Being paid to do it. Some passions work out great as careers. Some are best separate from bosses / clients / deadlines / bills / taxes. When work kills something you love, it kills a bit of your soul with it. Spelling E2. This much agreement is kind of sad. People at school keep asking if I've ever considered it work cause I'm the unofficial it guy of the class. Grad school. Class of 50 that's taking everything together. It's kinda fun in small bits when people are grateful for you going out of your way. But doing it 9-5 every day where I can get yelled at for hit that isn't my fault. Duck. That. My grades. I really loved those computer games. Who needs grades when you've got Diamond in League? My whole first 2 years of college in this sentence. Now I dropped out and quit League, go figure. School. I have poured my heart and soul into school and I lost my social life. Generally how it works. Though once you get to 3rd year uni, it tends to pick up depending on the subject. I'm 3rd year medical school. It's never getting better. Unrelenting poverty. Honest question, because everyone else is making stupid poverty jokes. In your opinion, what is the smallest investment of time, effort, or money that would have the biggest impact on helping you get out of unrelenting poverty? P.S. I've been there. As a kid and as an adult. But the path out is different for everyone. I stopped drawing because my friend told me I sucked. Well, your friend sucks. Time to quit your friend. Lack of creativity. Lack of dedication. Lack of capital. The ever painful realization that I was never the first option in any given room. The ever painful realization that I was never the first option in any given room. I'm never a first option too. Mate. Open bracket. Now we just need to get you two into a room. And one of you will have your dreams come true. Cancer made me quit a lot of things. Here's hoping chemo can get me back in my groove. Good luck fella. Road rage made me quit cycling. I live in a big city and I used to ride my bike everywhere. I even delivered full time on my bike as a main job. I'm not one of those reckless cyclists. I always ride safe and never go too fast. I pretty much make it a point to ride reasonably without being too careless. I've never gotten complaints about speed or anything while working almost 2 years on a bike. However, no matter what you do, you will encounter someone who has a problem with you simply because you are on a bike. They will honk at you, use their car as a weapon, try to sideswipe you, yell out things at you, or in some cases, pin you between their car and a parked car and try to fight you. You can brush it off sometimes. Other days it gets to you. I applaud people who always seem to brush it off every time it happens. But my patience is just wearing thin. Even if it's not road rages, the amount of people who text and drive is really high. It's scary. I used to ride my bike a lot. Everywhere. Now I do a lot less because the hassle of road rages and distracted drivers is just too much extra stress for me. The only way I'd go back to cycling is if I had access to an off-road trail or something. Unfortunately I live in a big city, so I just walk more. It's pretty fun. Boston. I rode my bike to work for 3 months in Boston. Stopped after I went over my handlebars slamming on the brakes because a guy in a panel van served toward me on Carmarthen in Back Bay. Being an academic/researcher. Hit pay. Funding cuts. Slow bureaucracy. Cutthroat community. Etc. I love being a scientist and working in a lab. But once you get over the honeymoon phase, it really sucks. You are toiling away in a lab doing manual labor days on end. But at the end of it, money was the real killer. What killed it was my inability to afford a mortgage, settle down properly, and seeing the end. As I've said before, I know several people in my field who has had their funding cut, so they've had to look for jobs elsewhere. The lowest point for me was when I was eating 2x meals a day and haven't taken more than a long weekend off in 2 years. As much as I loved science and research, I would like to be able to eat 3 meals a day and sleep well for a change. I too lost my passion for science. It started when I wasn't able to find a job after moving to a new city with an advanced degree and with years of experience in research. But now I realize that I just don't love it anymore. I can't stand the thought of going back to the lab with the artificial lights, no music policy, and slaving away, moving tiny quantities of liquid from one place to another, all for someone else to eventually take the credit anyway. I actually made pretty decent money though, which is the only siren I hear calling for my return. I'm trying to get into M/firefighting now, and that's keeping me motivated. What are you doing? Stay strong. Take my advice. Whenever NPR does a story on how desperately we need more people in science, especially more women, just turn it off. I have already gone through the whole, so I'm a lot better than how I was a while ago. Thanks for the words though. Yeah. Whenever I see the need for scientists or people talk about how glamorous it is, I just roll my eyes. I got paid pretty poorly, so I'm extra bitter I guess. I got pretty depressed when a good portion of my childhood friends started getting married, having kids, buying cars, having mortgages, and I was on minimum wage during my PhD. Currently filing out application forms to jobs in anywhere from science policy, banking, to startups. I have a temp job waiting/helping a friend run a restaurant, which isn't too bad. Being fat stopped me from going to the beach. Make going to the beach your goal to lose weight. Supervillain plot to somehow make everyone else at the beach comparably fatter, making it safe for op. Having a child and a full-time job means I can no longer play MMO games. Mostly MMO games come down to time spent equals progression. And with a 2-year-old I'm just not able to dedicate the hours per week or day that I used to. Now it's not a bad trade. Quite the opposite in fact. I probably spent an unhealthy amount of time playing WoW amongst others because I didn't have a fulfilling home life. I'm much happier now, but do occasionally miss those sorts of game. I mostly play FPS games now, so I can hop on for a few rounds when I get a couple of hours, and not be at any real disadvantage if I don't play every night for hours at a time. Try Rocket League. Best hop on for a game or two I've seen ever. time to sit down for a couple games of Rocket League. Looks up after a couple matches. Oh hit, it's 3 AM. We broke up. Gaining and losing family/loved ones. I used to play piano. It was something I did by myself to help me unwind. I took lessons and played songs. Then for a while I had people I played songs for, which was better. Now I'm all alone, and I can't bring myself to play piano for only myself, after experiencing what it was like to have a family that joined me and listened to my songs. A family I helped teach play piano and encouraged me to learn more. I threw out my piano, and I haven't touched one in years. Perhaps if you enjoyed teaching and playing, volunteering to teach at a local community center may be a fulfilling way to get back into piano, but also inspire others with your music. It may not be your loved ones by your side, but music could be your gift to people who never had the chance otherwise, and that is a wonderful thing. Chin up, mate. Or maybe go to a nursing home to play, just building off your idea. A growing feeling of self-resentment and anxiety, just because. Depression. Money. I can work myself to death, but it will never be enough when I can't be happy with myself. It doesn't help when the people around you aren't happy with you either. Irrational fear and anger. Doing drugs to cope only helps right then. And when I sober up, I'm still angry and sad, and all my problems are still there, but now they are bigger because I still haven't dealt with them. I liked video games, but hate myself for even thinking about playing them because I'm not happy with my living situation and will feel like I'm wasting time. I liked hanging out with friends, but it's the same thing. And now I'm Mr. Antisocial. Just another depressed workaholic. I managed to get myself out of bed only to get ready for work. Other than that, I just don't want to do anything. I can be ducking, starving, trying to fall asleep, but I just figure if I ignore it long enough it will stop hurting. It isn't that I'm lazy. I just hate myself now. You just described my exact life situation for the past 4 years. I remember hanging out with my best friends, just barely keeping it together. I wanted to yell at them over nonsense and just be alone so I could cry and sleep. Since then, got my dream job, and I'm currently in the waiting room of my wife's ultrasound. It got better, but I had to be hyper disciplined not to burn any bridges, socially or professionally. No matter how badly I wanted to. Low doses of green when necessary and lots of exercise. Mountain biking through the forest with a friend helped a lot. I also had to find the balance between helping other people and taking care of my own needs. It's an ongoing thing. Now I do the same stuff I did 4 years ago, only now I get to enjoy it finally. But I know that depressed feeling is just around the corner, so a disciplined routine with the occasional stray from said routine keep me centered. Hope that helps. Sorry to ramble. Anxiety. My agoraphobia has ruined everything I've ever loved, or made it hard to even enjoy anymore. Even little things like going to restaurants, chilling with friends, going to concerts, movies, road trips. I haven't done these things in years. If anyone else is like me and haven't found your way back into the world, I wish you the best of luck. 2 years ago I would go away rock climbing most weekends and practice indoors at least once a week. But eventually depression and agoraphobia overtook me and I couldn't manage it. I remember having my bags packed to go, but being in tears because for some indescribable reason I just couldn't leave the house. Nowadays I struggle to go out anywhere, especially without someone else leading me. Walking 10 minutes to the supermarket is a challenge. You need to be incredibly careful when it comes to pursuing what you love to the point it becomes a career. I haven't quit, and the passion isn't gone entirely, but it is smoldering. It is hard to do what you love for yourself when you've spent 50 hours in the last week doing it for a client on a project you aren't so enthused about. Yeah, I was going to college for music production and realized that if I pursued a career in it, I would eventually hate it. I just knew it would happen. So I dropped out and got a great job that I love and still make music as a hobby. I'm positive it was the right choice. Ducking, like and subscribe.